I'm back in the shop. Been working. Doing some hand sanding again, so I'm just seeing what everybody's going on. Let's see, wait and see who we get on here today. Working on a set of kitchen knives. We've got them all ground, so it's a lot of hand sanding. I got 2 of them with the handles on already, and I got them rough ground, and then this one here is kind of in between those. Working on finishing that blade up so that I can get handles on them as well. So all of these will be having like an OD green canvas micarta for the handles. So it'll be a full 5-piece set with a 3-inch paring knife, kind of like a 4-inch petty. And then this is like a 5-inch, like little mini Santoku veggie chopper kind of thing. And then we'll have a 7-inch Santoku, and then the 8-inch chef's knife is what's all in this set. So, hoping to have all these done by the end of January. Hoping. We'll see how it goes. But after that, I have another 2-piece set that's going to be a pretty special project. So it's going to have a theme to it. I don't want to divulge too much right now, but it's for a pretty special cause, I think. So I got a chef's knife for that, and hey man, what's going on? I got a 2-piece set with the small paring knife and a chef's knife for that. So that's for a special cause. I have a bit of a theme to it, so that's where I'll finish these 2, and then I'll go on to that. Hi, what's going on, people? If you're new, welcome. Let's say if you're a subscriber, then welcome back. Appreciate that. Hope everybody had a good Christmas and Happy New Year's. I would say Monday. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday now. See, I don't even know what day it is anymore. Yeah, I'm good. I don't know why you keep asking me if I'm okay. How's everybody's Tuesday afternoon going? Good. I'm happy to be home and in the shop. There's just a lot going on at work today, and it's work. But I'm glad to be home, working in my shop, doing what I want to do. I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but it's nice to do what you want, when you want, how you want, all that stuff. And you know, I enjoy this time. I mean, I relax by working, and I make knives and other things, blacksmith and other related. Talk to people, see what's going on, and share that. Said hi. I mean, there's a lot of y'all on here. Did I miss somebody? Hello. So I'm hoping this year I can actually do more videos. The lives, I'm gonna keep doing lives. I don't know. I'm hoping I can get some more videos done. It's just really hard to do by yourself. But there's a couple projects I'd like to film, I guess. Thank you. I usually get on here live Monday, Tuesday. Really, I'm thinking Tuesdays are going to be better than Mondays because sometimes I have errands to run on Mondays. So about 4 o'clock on Tuesdays, I'll be going live every week, just showing what I'm doing in the shop. Yeah, God bless you too, man. Like I said, I got a set of kitchen knives I'm working on right now. So this is the 2 that I got handles on. This one's getting hand sanded, hands put on it. But I got a special project later this year I'm hoping to get to, where I can prototype this folding knife because I really want to make that this year. I got a couple other jobs where I'd like to get done. I'd like to make a big run of these this year, kind of just a small little fixed blade knife. I have one here that I've been kind of messing with some different grinds on it, where it's got like a fuller in here and a hollow grind, and then it's kind of got this big kind of like Tantos wedge in it. But I don't know, just playing around with some stuff. So I'm hoping to make some of those. I got a bunch of these little ones, just like a real small, kind of fat, well, kind of a 2-finger, like really good pocket kind of fixed blades. But I got a lot of stuff I want to do this year, but I don't know. We'll see. And I'd like to make some videos about it, because I know people like that. I'm trying to get, more people interested in the channel. Like I said, it's hard to do by yourself. It's hard to think about what's going on and what you're trying to convey. So that's why I kind of just jump on here on the week and just kind of, see what people are interested in, see what's going on, build a little bit of a community. You guys can talk amongst yourselves as well. So, I mean, if that's something people like, that's interesting, hopefully they can subscribe and come along and see what I'm doing. It's like this is a part-time job for me right now, but I'd like to make it a full-time thing. So, but this is the boring part. So I'm talking to y'all. I'm a good streamer. I don't know about that. It's hard to carry on a conversation with yourself when there's nobody here. That's the hardest thing when I'm talking. Like, you watch a video, and that's why I've tried to explain to people, when you're watching a video and the guy's talking, he's talking to you, and you get that when you're watching it. But like, your neighbor across the street's watching you, and he's like, this guy's losing himself over here just talking to himself in his garage. It's kind of thing. I'm ignoring you. How am I ignoring you? There's so many of y'all just keep thrown in there. Enjoy. I'm sorry, man. I'm rambling today. I appreciate y'all being here. I haven't done a live couple weeks, probably since before Christmas. You know how holidays get, everything gets kind of crazy, but I'm glad that people are getting back in their routine. Kids are going to schools, and I've been working the whole time, but now everybody else is getting back into their routines. I don't know. You guys tell me. Where am I from? I'm originally from Minnesota, but I live in South Carolina. And it's crazy how I get people on here from all over the world. Depends on what time of day I get on here too. It's like I get people from like Europe or Asia and different places. Depends on what time of day. But yeah, what kind of videos would you like to see? I guess like maybe like how-to processes of like how you make a knife or come to Pakistan. How I make my knives, or kind of just like, I don't know. I'm trying to find out what people really like to watch. Is it like kind of the behind the scenes of, you know, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it, you know, and kind of show some of that, or where people don't talk and they just kind of show the process, and because all those are kind of different. Do you want some cash? Anyone like traveling? I'm kind of a homebody, really. I like to go places, I just don't like the process of going places. Going places is not fun. You got to do all this stuff, and I don't like that. But I like seeing places. I like going to other places, but when it comes time to like having to get ready for it, I don't like it. I don't know that I really want to do like instructional videos, but like if people have questions, I don't mind asking questions. And like I enjoy that. I like teaching, but there's a lot of people who don't really care how something is. They like enjoy watching. They want to be entertained. So, and sometimes being instructional, I guess, educational, however you want to say it, doesn't really work. Sometimes they get to be long, you know, because information you're trying to convey can get kind of long than if you're just kind of be like flashy bang, kind of showing off stuff that, you know, Hollywood kind of stuff, special effects, and but you know, depends on your audience, I guess. Like watching somebody hand sand is not really interesting, I know. But hey, there's 4 of you on here. I can see that. That's cool. Something else I'd like to do this year is do some more forging projects. I got a billet welded up right now that I'd like to make a big, I don't know, maybe 2 knives. I think I got enough material. Not really a Damascus, but a Gomai. I don't know if you know what Gomai is. Let's see, where's that billet? Where you got this big billet I got welded up here, where it's got these 3 thick layers here, and then these skinny layers here. That's kind of what it would look like when it's forged. Is the thicker parts would be black, and then the smaller layers would be kind of shiny when you make it. So you get this kind of like silver line through the blade. Should look pretty cool. I think I got enough material there to make 2 knives, maybe like a big chef's knife or something cool like that. Maybe some kind of small other fixed blade kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'd like to do some more forging stuff this year as well. I really like that forged textured look with a nice clean blade. Kind of a myriad of different textures and stuff. I think that's kind of cool. Brand New America. I feel like I know you. See, I hear people's what do you call them? Not really. What do they call that? What's the name for it? It's not an avatar. I don't know. Whatever they call it. Where I've seen these names, but I don't know who the actual person is. It's not like Brian, Eric, you know. So sometimes I know who these people are, but I don't recognize their, I guess their handle. Is that what you call it? Seen you on other lives. Do you go to Grumpy sometimes? Maybe that's where I've seen it. Possibly. Yep. Okay, that's why I've seen it. Okay. Because sometimes I'll look at people's little like profile pictures or whatever the little icon there is, and yeah, it looks familiar, but like I don't know people's names. A lot of times when I'm watching Grumpy, I'm either like cooking dinner, or rocking a baby because I got a 9-month-old and he loves his daddy. So a lot of times he ends up with me in the night. Hi. Invite you to the U.S. I mean, I have no say about that, but yeah. So I listen to Grumpy a lot of times. I'll have my earphones in and I'm cooking dinner and I'll chime in or something like that. But I don't always see the comments and stuff like that. That reminds me, I need to send him a message because he talked about me coming on there, so we need to get some kind of something on the books, I guess, this year. That would be fun. I like doing that kind of stuff, talking to other people about knives and other stuff. Different philosophies, I guess. Well, that's cool, man. Yeah. Glad to see you over here. Wow, yeah, man. You need to get to bed. Almost 3 o'clock. See, it's almost 5 o'clock here. Oh, man, I got carried away there. Want to be your friend? Yeah, man, join on. You'll see my videos. I think I got some pretty good videos there, but they're not as flashy as some others. Donnie Bliss, he makes a lot of the folders, doesn't he? It's 5 a.m. Wow. Yeah, I've seen a couple of his videos, and like I said, I don't know if you were on here. I got this folder that I'm working on prototyping that I want to make this year. I don't know if I'll make them for sale per se right now, because I've made several folding knives and I don't have one. So first one I'm gonna make for myself to kind of check it out, tweak it, and see if I need to make any changes to it. So this is kind of like the drilling template I got that I'm gonna like heat treat, so that whenever I go to make them, I'll have all these holes. I can just drill everything out real quick. And I know the geometry works on it. Yeah. A pain, they can be. It's like anything. Anything is a pain the first time you do it. But definitely with folders, you gotta have your stuff together. And I like making folders, but I don't know. I feel like I would have to charge more for folders if I had like I say, I work at a machine shop, so like if I had like a mill, I would have it set up right now, just running parts while I'm hanging out with y'all, and then I could be making knives and stuff like that. And you know, I might look into having some stuff water jetted once I get some prototypes made and I know everything works, and then I can get drawings and have all that, and that would make it a lot more economical. But yeah, a lot of what I do is like, say, I like working knives. That's really what I like. Hunting knives, EDC knives, and like kitchen knives. Like this is one I made, oh God, I don't even know, probably 10 years ago. It's not even straight, it's crooked. I mean, I made it. I mean, look at this. It's not tapered. It's all steel blade that I forged at a 52-100. It was a disaster. I mean, just complete, utter disaster. But I've had that blade in my pocket, and I've worked with it for, I mean, I don't even know how many years. Like, anytime I try a new process, so yeah, that's exactly, like, anything I can use for working, that's what I like. I don't like artsy knives. I don't like, I mean, I like to make a nice looking knife, but I don't like art knives. If it's not practical, it's not useful, it doesn't really make sense to me. Yeah, but I used to do construction with my dad growing up. I grew up on a dairy farm, so it's like I always had a knife, and I know what I liked about them. I know what I don't like about them. But making artsy stuff, I just don't get it. I could do it, and maybe the challenge of doing like daggers and stuff like that. Like daggers, I get people ask me if I want to do daggers and stuff, and I just don't get them. Like, I get what they are, but like, other than stabbing something, that's kind of what they are. And maybe if I get my journeyman and ABS and all of that, I'll have to make one, but I don't know. I don't really care for them. Now, if I was making them for like a special unit or something, like military or something, I could maybe get into that, because I think that would be cool. But just to make them, I don't know what I would use them for, other than just to make them. Yeah, I have made plenty of hunting knives where the guy wanted me to use some of his deer. Like I got some big sheds and stuff. Like this all came from New Mexico, some big elk and stuff from my buddy's ranch he was managing. I made some hunting knives, and I've made some. I don't like using deer antler because it just stinks to high hand of them. And it's usually not as dense or thick as like elk or stag or something like that. But I told him, I said, when I make this knife, you have to use it. He's like, yeah, I'll use it. And then he's like, oh, this is so pretty, I don't want to use it. I'm like, you have to use it. That's what it's designed for. Because you wanted me to make a hunting knife out of a deer you shot, so you got to use the thing, And then I don't know. It's like having a Ferrari and be like, oh, I don't want to use it because it's a Ferrari. And it's like, what good is a supercar if you just keep it in the garage, right? If you make, a high performance kitchen knife and people are just look at it, it's not really serving its purpose. You could say, yes, this is the sharpest knife in the world, and it cuts tomatoes like, a laser beam. But if you don't ever use it, you can get that satisfaction of using something that's performs at what it's designed to do. That's where I see the greatest satisfaction and stuff like this. Is not like, I don't know, sometimes people think that like if you make knives or something that you're like some crazy person and they don't quite understand it. But I like to make things. I've always liked to make things. I really have to make things. It says I get ideas and I got to get them out of my head. But it's hearing like people, like you said, like I can have a dad who wants me to make a knife for his son to take him hunting, and like just the joy that like the dad was talking about his son, like he shot his first deer or something, and he used that knife to skin that deer, and just like you could just see the smile on his face and him just skinning that deer and just like opening it up. And some people aren't into hunting, and that's cool, but it's like that's what I get excited about is bringing people together and hearing their stories about something I made that they have this memory now because and I think that's cool. And like I just made a set of knives for my aunt, and they got to use it over the holidays. And my cousin's wife cut her finger cutting up the prime rib. Yeah. Yeah, man. Appreciate that. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I get more enjoyment hearing people talk about, you know, people making food with it, or, a man's a lineman or something, and he's however high up, 100 foot up or something like that, and he needs a knife, and, that's what I like. I like helping people do what they like to do, whether it's cooking or hunting, fishing, whatever. Just opening up boxes, or if you like sitting in a cubicle cutting up Post-it notes. What do I do for a living? I am a quality manager for a machine shop, so I'm a machinist, I guess you could say. But I kind of oversee the quality of the shop now. I still am a machinist and still work the floor, but I oversee everything that's going on there. More troubleshooting now than hands-on running machines. I still run some of the other machines, like EDMs and stuff, but I oversee what's going on, help troubleshoot, take care of problems before we get there, stuff like that. I've done a lot of things, really. I used to do construction, used to build houses, worked on dairy farms growing up. You're a lawyer. Lawyers are important. I don't think I could be a lawyer. Well, actually, I know I couldn't be a lawyer. I have to do something. Like, I like at the end of the day seeing what I've worked on. Something tangible. But yeah, lawyers are important too. It's always good to have somebody that knows something. Whether it's you got a flat tire, or something's wrong with your car, or somebody that knows what's going on. And like I've had to get in contact with some lawyers, especially starting up my LLC, and they did a lot of work for me and took care of that. And I know you could do that on your own, but it's not something I wanted to deal with. And it was nice having them take care of that. And I know there's different avenues that people go on. Yeah, nobody's ever happy when you're talking to a lawyer, ever. It's like the customer service person you go see when something's broken or something. Like, nobody's ever happy, like, hey, how are you? It's like, or the DMV. Nobody like enjoys talking to the people at the DMV, like, hey, how's your life? How's the kids? How's little Jimmy doing? Everybody's got a problem. They want you to take care of it, and you're just an inconvenience of them being there. I did pay them, and it was worth it. But I haven't had to need a lawyer since then. So they did a lot of like intellectual property stuff. So yeah, that's what they mostly dealt with, was that kind of stuff. So and I wanted to make sure it was legit and that I had all my paperwork and everything that I needed to do that, so that I can do this and not have to worry about, something like that. So I have all that documentation, and anytime I need it, I can just pull it out and it's all there. And I don't really get much of a fuss about it. Like I said, I like to do a lot of things myself, but I know certain things I'll pay somebody. Like, if the house needs to be remodeled, I have a hard time paying somebody to do something that I know how to do. But if I'm going to do like electrical work, I know where to draw the line. I'm not an electrician. I don't want to be an electrician, and I honestly don't. I know enough to be dangerous, and that's the problem. How long will I be streaming? Usually between up to about 5:30. I usually go about an hour and a half. That's usually when the babies get home, so I'll go inside and cook some dinner and do all that and hang out with them. But yeah, about every Tuesday, about between 4 and 5:30, something like that. About an hour and a half on Tuesdays. I'll be here working. Yeah, but I'd like to do some more fun stuff. Maybe have a knife that y'all can kind of help with, I guess. Kind of picking things out, designs, and just kind of work on that. I think that'd be cool. And then maybe some kind of giveaway or something like that would be kind of cool, I think. Yeah, I know enough about enough things to know what I can do and when I need to call somebody. I know some electricians. I don't know a good plumber. That's the problem. But I know how to do certain things. But it's like, I'm not going to plumb the whole house. I don't want to sit up under the house with all that plumber's glue and all that stuff and put pipes together, and I don't want to do that. I can do it. I don't want to do it. It's like we had a problem at our last house where the septic line from the house to the actual tank, I think it got damaged or something. So I called some people, and they were supposed to come out and look at it, and they didn't show up. And so they said, well, we'll be out there tomorrow. Somebody got sick, and I came home and nobody was there. And then they said, well, we'll have somebody there Monday, because it was like a Friday. I said, like, just don't bother. I just started digging a hole, and I like dug up the whole line, and it's what it was. Like, one of the lines had collapsed, so I was digging it all and that's really what it was. I didn't want to have to dig it all with a shovel, but I was so mad at that point. I dug the whole thing and pulled the line out, replaced it, put it all back in, and they were going to charge like, I don't know, $1,500-$1,600 to do all that. And I told my wife that she owed me like, I don't know, $1,450, because it was like $50 in parts and pipes and fittings and all this stuff. Yeah, man, appreciate that. God's good. God's good all the time. But yeah, I was not happy about it, and that's really, I didn't have the time to do it. Is a lot of times is what it is when it comes down to time versus money. I didn't have time to be like Mr. Fix-It, but I was so mad at the point that I just did it myself. And I called them, and I said, just don't bother showing up. Like, if that's how your customer service is or whatever, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if they were busy or what it is, but I mean, I'm pretty understanding. And they had 3 opportunities, and that was more than sufficient. And they just dropped the ball. What's my dreams? Man, you got some deep questions. I don't know, man. I love doing this. If I could do this full time and actually make a living at it, that's probably what I would do. maybe teach some classes, stuff like that. It'd be cool. I wouldn't mind having some property too. I love being outdoors, hunting, not fishing as much. Like I never really got into fishing down here. No, I don't. I say that. Like I love muscle cars. I love classic cars. I say that. I enjoy them, but like here I don't have a place to work on a car. Like pull it in the shop and tinker on it. Like I don't have time for that. And I know like there's a lot of people that love old cars, like 70 Chevelle, Super Sport, you know, big block, dream car. Probably will never have one. But I had an old Jeep, like an old, was it 87, 89 Jeep Cherokee that I worked on all the time because I had to. So I knew like that thing inside and out. But I don't mind working on cars if I want to work on cars, like the old cars, not like this new computer crap. But like, you know, they don't make cars like they used to. And I say that, I'm like, you know, 37. But my brother is actually he's a mechanic, so a lot of times I can call him and ask him questions, and most of the time he can walk me through it if it's something I have a question about. But do I do anything? I don't understand that question. Do I do anything when I'm at my house? This is what I do. I work, man. I work and cook. I like to cook. Well, I like to eat, so I cook. I like to eat, therefore I have to cook. So if you like to eat, you gotta cook. Unless you got money and you pay somebody to cook for you, which most of us don't fall in that category. I like to eat. I don't like to sit still. Well, mine says I never sit still. And I feel like if I'm sitting still, I could be doing something else. Got scratches all over it. All right. Oh man, I already had pizza cut. When I get home, this is what I do. I do this until somebody starts wondering where I'm at, really. But I like to be outside too. I love to be out in the woods. I say not so much fishing down here. Like I grew up in Minnesota, so like the fishing is a lot different than down here. It's a lot of muddy water and stuff. So I never really got into fishing down here as much. But I don't know, I could do trout fishing. I could get into that, but I just haven't. I haven't had the time. So yeah, being outside's good. Yeah, man, I love making knives. I say love. I like. Love's a different word. I think we lost everybody, which is fine. So I'm at a point I might be shutting it down anyways. But yeah, man, everybody that was on here today, anybody that's watching this later on, we got some new people jumping on. What's going on, folks? We were having some good in-depth conversations here a little while ago. So working on some new kitchen knives. Talking about food. It always circles back to food. Anytime you get into conversations, it always ends up about when are we gonna eat, what we gonna eat, who we going to eat with. You know, it always seems like that. So. The old Camillus, like the old like carbon steel ones, those are actually good. Which is funny though. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Camillus actually made the K-bar knives back when they were actually good. I say that, I don't want to be offensive, but like the old Camillus knives, when the K-bar was around, that was Camillus that was commissioned to do all those for the military. A lot of like the stainless stuff and the knockoffs and all that, they're not, but a silver sword, that's cool. But yeah, K-bar actually came from the expression where this guy had one that they made, and he actually used it to fend off a bear attack. So it became a kill-a-bear. Oh, in Sterling, okay. Kill-a-bear. So that is a K-bar, kill-a-bar. That's where that's where that name came from. Yeah, it's cold. Everything's frozen. We used to do a lot of ice fishing when I lived in Minnesota growing up. A lot of spear fishing and stuff like that. I'll say fishing is just different in the South. I know there's some good places. Like now, if we're going deep sea fishing, that's a different story. You know, if we're going deep sea fishing's different because I mean, like if there's some place that's kind of, I would say, kind of scary. Like the ocean is places where you're definitely not on the top of the food chain. There's some big things under that water, and the thing is, it's like if you're on land, you know, it depends on where you're at. You can see it coming, but like if you're in the water, chances are you're not even gonna know it's coming. They're gonna like, oh, I think it would be cool to go like that. Was it the Goliath groupers? Man, that would be like, that's a big fish. You know, you hook one of them things and all of a sudden it takes you for a ride. You know, you better be strapped in when that thing hits that lure. But I don't know. Starting to get there. We're on the final grit. And sometimes it's like you get to you got to move it around because like you're just making big valleys, and if you just keep going, you're just kind of like staying in the same rut. So you got to move around to knock all those little peaks down. Is all you're doing. Yeah, like so when I was in school, my major was wildlife and fisheries biology. So, which was nice because I won't say I hated being in a classroom. Like I like to learn things, but being in a wildlife major, I was out in the woods or in a creek or something, like at least 3 out of the 5 days we were always going someplace, you know. But yeah, we used to do all these little creeks and I don't say river. We never really, well, we did do some rivers, surveys with like electroshocking, and we would do surveys. And I'm telling you, there were some monster fish that came out of these like real, just barely any water in these little creeks. I mean, some monster little fish. And you're talking about, you know, the ocean, all the little places that you could hide and reefs, and I mean, like they got people out like in the Amazon hunting eels. Like you're in the middle of the woods and there's like underground aquifers and they're pulling eels and stuff up out of these tree roots in the middle of like the Amazon. Somebody just drove down. Thought it was some truck pulling in the driveway. But yeah, they have these big eels they'll pull up out of the ground from these aquifers that run under the ground. And I'm like, you know, how do you figure that out? You're just like, let's go fishing in the middle of the woods, pulling up eels. But I know, I guess you spend all your life there, you figure that kind of stuff out. But yeah, those glacier lakes up north are just different. Like they're just clear. Yeah, like South America, I mean, there's like everything there just in the water that just wants to like kill you or eat you, I guess. Everything's got teeth. Ancient knowledge, yeah. Yeah, everything's got teeth. Like when we were home, like a lot of like the northerns and everything, they got teeth, you know, and they'll cut you up pretty bad. But you're talking like some of that stuff, like what's that one that's like in Florida, the snakehead, some crazy looking fish. Now we got like bowfin, you know, they're kind of weird snake looking fish, but I don't know. Oh, and the gars, like those alligator gars and stuff, like people see those or they haven't ever seen one. Oh, that's in the way. And you see one of those things and it's like alien looking fish. Lake Ontario, that's cool. Yeah, I used to live up in Minnesota, up in dairy country, I guess. Kind of about the middle of the state, probably about 45 minutes directly east of Fargo, North Dakota. That's kind of where I grew up. But they go up and fish the boundary waters every once in a while and like go like, you know, some monster pike and stuff, muskie and all that. Like nasty, just like the fish or like like to eat? Because I hear that they don't actually taste that bad, but I don't know. I've never eaten one. Like Florida is just like a giant, I won't say cesspool, but kind of just like a microcosm of just like all these things that aren't supposed to be there are in Florida, and they've been there for so long that it's like, it's not native, but it's like all these invasive species. But they stay in Florida because they can't survive these like temperatures of like just a little bit north of them, like Georgia. Georgia can get kind of cold. Like I hear they're supposed to get snow. Yeah. Some of those fish are just like crazy looking. Like I got family out west and we would go like sturgeon fishing, and like sturgeon are just like dinosaurs. They're just like plated sharks looking, but they're, you know, they eat just like mussels and clams and all that stuff on the bottom, but they look like a shark almost, just armor plated. And even a little fish, I mean, they're fun to catch. You can't keep them. They're all like endangered and stuff like that, but it's all catch and release. But even like a little like 3-foot one, which is a small, they put up such a fight because if you hook it, you think you got a log. But yeah, if you get one on, you gotta fight. You gotta fight to get it up off the bottom, because if it gets on the bottom, it just like suctions itself down there, and then you're just there, you know, because a lot of them are in the rivers. You're just there until they decide they want to go somewhere, because you're not gonna pull it up off the bottom. Like you don't have zero leverage in that situation. But then things get huge. You're talking like 12, 14 feet, just monster fish, just prehistoric dinosaurs. I don't know how old they are. I should know that, being a wildlife major, but I don't. really long time. We'll just say that. Like the paddle fishing too, like the big like saw looking thing. Both of them, I mean, they're like old prehistoric fish. A lot of those are in trouble too, because I mean they get hit with boats and stuff all the time. Yeah. 10 foot's a good size, but like say my uncle, he would go out fishing with his buddy, and he had I want to say it was like a 25 footer we were on. I don't know what kind of boat. It's been so long. But he said the week before we got there, they would go oversized sturgeon fishing, which is like 10, 12 foot and bigger. So like you're using different tackle, and they had a 12-foot tape with them, and had 6 guys, and the boat's like, a couple inches from being flipped over, and they had the tape all the way out. And he said there was at least another 2 foot of this fish in the water. And he's like, you can't pick it up in the boat. You like capsize the boat, and you just take a picture of it, cut the line, pull the hook or whatever, and that's all you do with those Pacific sturgeon, anyways, because you can't keep them. But yeah, we didn't catch anything quite that big. I say about a 3-4 footer is what we caught that day. But still, man, they were so fun to catch. They just fight. They're so strong, and you're fighting in that current, and they just go where they want to go. Carson, what's going on? I don't think I've seen you on here. Welcome to the humble shop. Do y'all want to? I don't know how many people we got on here. If y'all want to see a shop tour, it's very dirty. It's actually not that dirty anymore. I've cleaned up some, but it's not organized, we'll say that. Definitely not organized. Still, it's a work in progress, we'll say. There's a lot of work going on, okay? There's work going on. A lot of projects, a lot of work happening. Not a lot of cleaning. Cleaning is not fun. Like, I don't know that I want an apprentice. I don't know, maybe one day, but like somebody keep the shop clean. That would be nice. Yeah. Talking about fish and all kinds of stuff. You want to have a quick shop tour? Yes? No? Maybe so? Let me know. Nobody knows. Sure. A very enthusiastic sure. All right. Because, quite frankly, I'm tired of sanding. All right. I'll flip you around so you can see a little better, but like this is my main work area here. I got it all U-shaped. And like this is my big leather bench. That's all the leathers. See, I don't have doors on it yet. Like I got all these orders and then I just stopped working on it. So this is where I do a lot of the hand work or whatever this. I want to get a different one for doing handles and stuff. Pretty much any kind of epoxy, gluing, all that stuff's over here. And then like all the knives that I'm working on. Kind of my main bench where I got this big light I can see. So there's just a plethora of designs and knives and everywhere. I got drawers everywhere. Like, just all these designs and models that I make. I'd like to get like pegboards up here, put them all up and stuff to get stuff up out of the way. Like these are all like handle materials and stuff, all kinds of like a bunch of wood there, which is like spinelix, bunch of stuff. And then like from here on out, this is just like a cluster of everything. Like this big old thing was here when I moved in. And then this is kind of like my forging area where I have the forge and the anvils, but it's like it needs work. It's functional, and that's kind of one of the areas I want to work on. Is like this side over here being like my woodworking. I'd like to build like a big bench for like extend the table saw out. Yeah, it's a good space. Like the fridge was here, so it's got all the drinks and everything in there when it's like hot out here. But then like I'd like to have all like the lawnmowers and everything like over there, like on like another separate shed or something attached, so I can keep all that. So then we got like this is, I don't know, that was there. Well, actually it was mine, but it's just there. Maybe I thought about having maybe like, I don't know, a buffer or something there. And then drill press, all the drill presses. And this is the grinding room. That's Fred. Say hi, Fred. He was here when I moved in. I don't know. But yeah, this is my grinding room, which is super awesome because all this dust and everything that you get in there is just horrendous. So like I'd like to get, I got space here for 2 grinders. I have 1 right now. Got the Cat Daddy Deluxe here. Got lights everywhere. So belts. Surface grinder, I do not have a surface grinder yet. Look at that. Like I cleaned this before Christmas and it's dirty like everywhere. I'd like to put one here. I'd like to get an actual, this was from my woodworking days when I did a bunch of woodworking. It's the only thing I use it for is flattening handle material. It's the only thing, because this thing is terrifying and will sling anything remotely at your face. Maybe a, what do you call it? Blast cabinet over here one day. I say there's a lot of things I'd like to do, but it's like just haven't made it there. So that's pretty much it. It's not huge, but it works. You know, I could do some classes and things in here. I had maybe like 2 people, you know, and then say that's another reason I'd like to get another grinder is just you got 2 people, you got 2 grinders, they can work at the same time, and when they're not using it, then like you said, I could set one up with a surface grinder and have the other one doing like my big wheels or something like that, so I don't have to change them, because you know it sounds like such a minor inconvenience, but when you're doing big batches, not having to change attachments in between all that is really nice. So that's kind of the shop. There's a lot of things I'd like to add, and I keep adding to it, making it better, making changes. But I said I've worked in several different shops where I've had different things. So I'm at the point where I know how I like to work. And so like, that's why I've set up this big area here, so that like kind of flows through the process. Yeah, which is funny enough because I started out in like an 8x8 building, and I went to some custom knife makers, probably the first one I went to, and they were working out of like the same like 8x8 building, and I'm talking about putting out some amazing work. Obviously, they have much nicer shops now, but you know, you do with what you got, and then you learn what you want. Like when we bought this house, I didn't know that room was there, and I was going to build a grinding room because that was the biggest thing, is having all that grinding dust contained. Having all that grinding dust contained was a big win. So when I moved in and it was already there, I was like, sweet, I don't have to build one. One less thing I got to do. The paper cutter, it's great for sandpaper. So yeah. And like, I'd like to put in a vacuum system and some of that to get some of that out of there, but you know, there's other things I'd like to get to. It's always about time and money. How much money do you got versus how much time do you got? So I guess. Or, you know, you get some minions to clean the shop for you. My minions are still too little. Thing looks good though. It's always the last little scratches that seem like they take forever to get out. It's not bad though. I skipped a grit though, that's why. So you said you like fixed blades. Like, what kind of fixed blades do you like? Like, what do you gravitate towards, I guess? What kind of style? I guess style in general. I mean, it doesn't have to be a fixed blade. Style of knives. Some people are like, man, I love Tantos, and I'm like, they're okay. They're okay. Where's it at? Yeah, like. This is kind of more the style that, like, tiny little, I like the forged textures. Like, I don't know, or forged texture into like the clean blade. I like that kind of look. That's what I like. A lot of them have some kind of, I don't know, useful functionality. I like a lot of different styles, but like this is, I like this kind of style, you know. I like this. Kind of a, this became a shop knife. These pins, I ground through them. They're hollow on the inside. Like these little bolts. Just like a little screw and a bolt. Well, let's see. This side over here, they're hollow on the inside. They drilled all the way up in there. Man, that's what happened right here, where they drilled through. So when I was grinding, making this one, I ground through it, and this is like this is like an awesome handle material. It's like a rubberized neoprene, like a commercial grade neoprene. So it's hard, but it's soft. This was like one I was like testing out, And like right now, it's really hard. I guess because it's cold, but it feels really good in the hand. But honestly, uh, this blade's too thick for this small of a knife. So it's a little bit thick, but like it feels really good. But yeah, it's a little thick. So like I have some more of these that I'd like to make, kind of this design. I would do it in a little bit thinner material. But that's why you make them, I guess. I haven't carried this one in a while. It's been in the shop. It needs to be sharpened. Maybe I'll put it in my pocket and carry it to work. Yeah, I got a bunch of those. Like over here, 52-100. I mean, I like 52-100 because it's you get a real nice toothy edge. Like if you, the way you harden it, you get this real aggressive cutting action with it. But I don't know, it needs to be thinned down a little bit. And that one is look at it. Yeah, this one's flat ground, so maybe if I did them in a hollow grind, like that would be slicey. So maybe that's what I'll do with those ones, is just hollow grind them. But like I said, man, there's so many things I want to make, projects and things. It's like you never have way more ideas than time to do them, which is, I guess, good, because I don't run out of things to do. But sometimes when people's like, yes, I would like this kitchen knife and I would like that, and it's not bad, but it's like you get excited about one thing, and but your mind's already moved on to something else so fast that like you can't keep up. It depends, I guess. Like I have this idea, I already have another idea about, like, this one is I've been playing with some grinds where it's, what is this? This is a hollow grind. Okay, I had to remember. There's a hollow grind here with the fuller, and then this is, I don't know if you can see, flat ground, kind of thick. So, and then this one here, I'm gonna carve these out. So it'll be like a lanyard will go up around the handle, but it's like, it's a lanyard tube, but it's not really a lanyard tube. It's like a kind of, I guess, a hidden lanyard loop, but it goes right in with the handle, so it would come right out the end. I've done that a couple times on some knives, because I don't really like lanyards, I guess, but some people do. And so I do that from time to time just to kind of change things up. It's a lot more process to do it that way, but it looks super sweet when it's done. Yeah, man, get out there and work. Do something. You know, it's always satisfying to make something with your hands or create something. I know some people do stuff that's not physical, I guess, which is cool too. Oh, I think we're getting there. Yeah, we still got some of them scratches right here. Like the finishing takes the longest. A lot of times when I'm doing this, sometimes, like, especially on the weekends, I'll stay up late when everybody goes to bed. I'm just out here watching a movie, either sanding handles or sanding blades, and it's not the most, I would say, glorious part, but it makes the biggest difference in the final knife. Because essentially at the same time I'm like sanding this thing, I'm also sharpening it. Like you're getting that edge thinner to the point where like they're pretty much sharp when I'm done sanding them. I'm just basically just putting the finished edge on there. But I just heard people drive up, so I'm gonna shut this thing down. Yeah. But I appreciate everybody being here. And say I'll be here next Tuesday, 4 o'clock. Y'all have a good one.